I'm Edmundo Lopez. I'm a sculptor. And I also teach art. I usually teach ceramics. I belong to the Florida Sculpture Guild. What inspired me to be in sculpture, I started using clay at a very early age when I was around 8 or so. And I used to go to the river near my house and I saw kids playing with clay that they gather near the river, and then I found that so cool. And then I started doing little figurines. But besides that, my father was a painter, so that was the biggest influence in my creativity. I usually use clay, but I also use found out objects like wood, anything that I can find around me. When I traveled to New York, I always thought that I was a painter, and I said, but this is not me. And when I started seeing the abstract sculptures in the street of New York, and then I said, that's what I want to do. That's really what I want to do. What is that? And people told me, oh, those are sculptures. And then I said, but that's what I want. This is made out of white clay. This sculpture over here is the Trojan rooster. It was inspired by the Trojan horse. The windows here are part of my childhood, and I always do that. And some of the windows have this bar, like you can't come out. It's a long story behind the window. So I was kidnapped and I just escaped through a window. So that's why that's really important for me. And not only that, when I landed in a tomb, in a cemetery, and then I started running. It sounds very surrealistic, but it happens when I was 13 years old. This one over here, we continue with the roosters. This is a series that I did, but I really stylize it and I play with the form, kind of. I don't want to be so realistic. I want to play around with the form. And I like white for them because it means purity to me, even though this bird is very protective, very territory protected. So, and I like that, and it protects its freedom, and that's what I usually work on, my freedom. Well, I have a process. So the first thing I do is my ideas come small and I put them down in my sketchbook. But I always talk about freedom, and especially what's happening in the society at that moment. And once I have the little drawing, then I make a big drawing. If I'm working with clay, I usually, and this one you can see it better, that I repeat the form twice, this side, and then I put it together, and then I give volume to it, and then I can just play around with the form here and there. But basically everything is about freedom. That's basically it. And this is the same process. And then I start creating as it goes, it flows. So I don't plan everything. I just plan a little bit. Because I believe if I plan everything, it will be too static, and then I don't have fun, then you don't feel it. So I like to be more freedom. That way it becomes more original. The advice I would give to the people that want to sculpt is to do it and do it and do it and do it until they get a sentiment, like when you play video games, like you can't wait to go home in order for you to play that video game. So until you get that, you have to keep working hard, and then the ideas will come. Once you have one idea will give you another one and another one and another one, and it's a never-ending thing. So you don't have to force yourself, but you have to do it all the time in order for you to get that, incentive from the spiritual, I say. Sculpting is really important because it gives you a form, a three-dimensional form, and it helps to make the world better. It enhances the view, it educates, it brings culture, like this one here, make you ask questions. So just by asking questions, it ignites your thinking. So I think that's very important. Sometimes you don't like an artwork, but it's okay. But if you have some questions, so that's good there. So I think that's very important. And we've been doing art since we exist. We don't know why we do it, but humans been doing art since day one. And we keep doing it and we will do it. That's what makes us human. I heard about eclat law through the Florida Sculpture Guild. And once I'm here, I love it and I tell everybody about it. And I check the Instagram page and I love it. And it's something very nice. I feel proud to be part of eclat law's artists.